What up, what up, what up, y'all? It's obviously the next episode of the
Why are
Speaking
you
Heat
laughing,
podcast. We got into an interesting start to start the pod out. So bear with us. Big weekend, obviously. Big weekend as always. Um really really a tough weekend though. Tough weekend for sports fans and people trying to watch football, especially college football this weekend. We had some some decent games this weekend, but really, kind of really couldn't watch most of them. Really, if you're a YouTube TV subscriber like I am, obviously Disney and ESPN, all their networks got taken down right before the weekend. I think it was Friday morning. They got taken down. So really couldn't watch anything that wasn't on, CBS, NBC, or Fox.
Why would they not wait to the end of the season?
Well, it's whenever their contract's in, so. And I'm sure it's by design too. I'm sure by ESPN and Disney to have a contract happen for sports networks in the middle of football season because it gives them the most leverage probably.
And I mean, football is the only sport on right now besides the early basketball right now too.
Yeah, it's just,
Was that the night before the World Series?
No, World Series was already happening. It was already going on. But yeah, just so basically, ESPN and Disney, their contract with YouTube TV ran out. It ran out Thursday night, Friday morning at midnight. And basically that meant that all the ESPN networks got taken down from YouTube TV. So if you're a subscriber for YouTube TV, you can't watch sports. And that's like one of the major sports streaming services out there just because of how many different channels and stuff it has access to sports. So, that's a big deal, man. And it does suck for a lot of sports fans, me included.
I was thinking about getting YouTube TV this season, but it's so expensive at that.
Yeah, right now, like the standard, it's like $82.
That's a lot. I think that's the highest anywhere for a month, right?
Yeah, it's per month. So I don't know. I thought a week or two before, you started seeing the commercials and stuff saying oh, you could at risk at losing ESPN and ABC and such. And you go through this once a year anyway. So you kind of just expect it to go away and they come to a deal, at least something temporary. And woke up Friday morning and it was gone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, just
are they going to lose so much money too?
Oh yeah, for sure. And obviously, us in the public don't really know the detailed specifics on really what happened. My guess, really what happened was that because ESPN and Disney have got that new streaming app where all the ESPN stuff is on one app. Now they kind of have the leverage to raise the price for how much Google would pay for all their Disney and ESPN channels and stuff, because now they're trying to get all the customers to go to their app, which, I'm thinking about going to it too, but still it's now that YouTube TV doesn't have it, that's going to cause, football fans to have to go and find it somewhere else. And really, obviously, over the weekend, I was streaming it online. I was going and streaming this stuff on sites and stuff. Yeah, but we're probably gonna edit that out.
We're definitely gonna edit that out.
But yeah, it's just wild, and didn't have the access to as many games. I only watched 3 games.
I'll tell you what do you think the reason is?
Oh, 100%. It's so because ESPN and Disney have got the new app. They're trying to get customers to go to that app. Well, they're going to still partner with certain, providers, because also Disney owns Hulu Live TV. They own Hulu. So they have no incentive really with YouTube TV to go and sell their rights to YouTube TV for a low price. They're going to hike the price up and make YouTube TV and Google pay a lot of money for these channels, because they're trying to make money, and they're going to make more money if you raise the price versus sell it at a lower price whenever you have your own app out there anyway that's for the same thing. So YouTube TV and Google they didn't want to pay what Disney was wanting
I think it's something between the lines. I don't think it's as upfront as you're making it. I think there's something in their contract or something that NFL and ESPN and all these sports teams weren't following.
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with sports teams. So it's all media rights.
Or the media, yeah.
It's all media rights. It's Disney owns ESPN. They own ABC. So they set the price of what they sell it for. And because of the leverage that they now have the leverage with YouTube TV to raise the price and force Google to pay for it, or they don't get it anymore. And I think Google stood their ground and was like, we're not paying this. And they ended up losing it. And I'm sure it's going to hurt YouTube TV because, there's a lot of subscribers to YouTube TV because it's one of the major streaming platforms out there that has all these sports channels. And it just...
Disney just owns everything.
They're buying up everything. They own a shit ton.
And I think they're trying to make up their own rules.
They very much are. And it's because they have the leverage. They have a lot of leverage.
That's what I think it comes down. I don't know as much as pricing, and I think it's something underneath the obvious stuff.
And it's they have the leverage to set the price for whatever they want to sell it for.
Yeah, I mean,
and
people are going to buy it too.
They are, and a lot of people are going to that new app, and I'm probably going to end up going to that new app eventually, probably. But it's just like it sucks for sports fans because it is in the middle of the season, and this happened on Friday. It's not like it happened on Monday. This happened on Friday.
That was the day of the World Series Game 7, wasn't it?
And I mean, it didn't affect the World Series because they're on Fox.
And MLB, I think, is a little bit different. I think MLB is its own thing.
And with ESPN and with the NFL, it doesn't really hurt the NFL as much because the NFL has their own streaming service. They've also got Red Zone, which is not a part of ESPN. And most of their games aren't even on ESPN except Monday Night Football. So it really doesn't affect the NFL much either. But it's a big kicker to college football because so many of these games come on ESPN. So
I think NFL just needs to have their own one stream or one channel.
They do.
Where you get everything. You get Red Zone, everything football included.
It's called NFL Plus Premium, and I'm probably going to end up getting.
But you have
to
have YouTube TV to get that.
No, you do not. No,
it's just like on the NFL
I think it's like
app.
$15 a month or something.
Why would you not?
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up getting it and that ESPN Fox app probably.
And it's live games, right?
It's all the games you would get on regular TV, but it's on the apps.
And you get Red Zone?
You do get Red Zone on the NFL Plus Premium.
Do you get post-game stuff?
Maybe. I'm not sure. On the NFL Plus Premium app, I don't know. If you have the ESPN app, you would, just because you're going to get the regular broadcasts. So
I mean, I don't even watch post-game that much anymore because we got JB.
I don't really watch post-game.
I mean, you wake up in the morning and watch JB, and that's post-game for me over everything.
But it just,
or Pat McAfee or whoever.
It really sucks though. Like, and the fact that it was Friday, so like you don't really have time to like figure out the alternative. You got to dive into the weekend on Saturday and boom, like you either.
It's everybody too. It's businesses that play the games.
Yeah.
It's not just people at home.
Yeah, a lot of places have YouTube TV, like bars and everything, and they use that to broadcast the games for patrons and stuff. And it just it was a big kicker. So like I didn't really get to watch many games. I only watched like a handful of games, way less than usual. So like it was a pretty short weekend when it came to really actually paying close attention to a lot of these games. But
it was a great weekend too.
It was a good weekend, man. It was good. Obviously, really the game of the week. Oklahoma playing in Knoxville at night.
It was
night
a
game.
Good game. I don't think it was the best game of the week though.
Oh, for sure. Big time football.
I just knew Oklahoma was gonna win that the whole time. Like you knew Oklahoma was gonna keep that game in their bag.
We obviously we've been to Neyland. I'm sure it was loud. I'm sure it was raucous. It was at night. It had a blackout. It was the environment there was wild and great game. Just great game. Really, Oklahoma's defense, in my opinion, is what really won that game. There were some points, but It was a big time game, big energy. It felt big. It felt big. So that was a fun game. That was a very very fun game. Another big one, obviously Texas. Texas goes and put it all over Vandy. Really, they were up big in that game at one point.
Arch did a good job that game.
Arch has played well the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and he's been under the radar, but that's because they're so high up on the AP, or so low on the AP poll. Are they even on it anymore?
Yeah, I think they moved
just
up.
got back in.
Well, we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the AP in a little bit here. But yeah, Texas Arch Manning played very very well. They went and I can't remember the lead that they had, but they were up by like 20 at one point.
What happened to Vandy this week?
And then Vandy came back. They came back and made it a game, and Texas pulled out a win. But
it was like a 3-point game at the end, right?
Yeah, it was. They ended up bringing this game back, and it was close. But Texas got a big win. Arch played well, so they're gonna move up. Vandy obviously is gonna get knocked down a little bit, but Texas is kind of trying to hit a home stretch to get in this playoff, man. Georgia survived a tough game in Jacksonville against Florida, man. Low scoring, close, tough game. Defenses, I felt like, really controlled the game. Florida looked maybe the best they've looked all season.
They looked good up front on defense, too.
They really did. They were hitting Gunner. They were coming after Gunner. And when I was watching the game, I really thought about it. I was like, they were playing the way that Ole Miss should have played. They were coming after, and they were getting pressure. They were rushing. They were rushing 5, 6 players. They were coming downhill, and they were putting some hats on him. But Georgia just continue to just find a way to win.
I love watching Georgia football. It's so fun to watch.
It's Grady, dude. They're the most resilient team in the country right now. I do think that catch, it was like a 40-yard play with like 3 minutes left. Florida threw the ball, or Lagway threw the ball. It was like 40 yards, and they ended up calling it incomplete. In my opinion, you can see on the replay, he caught the football.
Are we going to talk about this game more in depth? Or
Yeah. We'll dive in.
I want to talk about Gunner's fucking false start, too.
Oh, yeah, the exaggeration of the clap. I mean,
I think DJ Lagway did the same thing and got us the jump, and it was literally the same motion.
Yeah, the way that they're officiating that is very, very uneven.
Yeah.
And inconsistent.
A lot of the refereeing this weekend, it was probably graded very badly.
Yeah, I don't know. The last month, officiating has just not been very, very good. So we'll take a look at that game. Four teams. That's all that's left. It's undefeated, man. 4 teams. I think it's Ohio State. Who's that? Ohio State, BYU, Indiana.
Tech.
Who?
Texas Tech?
No. Who was the last one?
BYU,
Ohio State, Indiana.
Tech. Is it not Tech?
It's not Tech. I can't remember who it is. We just looked at it, too. We literally just looked at it.
Ohio State.
Texas A&M.
Georgia Tech.
Texas A&M. Texas A&M is one of the other teams.
Georgia Tech is, too?
No, they lost this week.
Navy lost to Army, too.
Yep. So
that was a game I wish I could have watched.
4 teams, man. 4 teams remain unbeaten. And we had 4 ranked teams get upset this week.
Back-to-back losses for Miami.
Yeah, back-to-back. I don't think it was back-to-back, but they've lost. I think it's 2 of the last 3 or something. I think they won last week because they had the camel and stuff on. But
yeah.
But yeah, they just kind of started off the season really good and just have kind of fallen apart. Mainly it's Carson Beck, really. We'll dive into Miami's loss against SMU. But Georgia Tech, Miami, Cincinnati, and Houston all ranked teams fall this week. And
Georgia Tech took an L this week. A bad L. I did see that. It was bad.
Yes. And Auburn fired Hugh Freeze. A move that I really thought was going to happen, and I think it was yesterday they announced it, and I'm not surprised. Auburn just not had a good season. He's really not had a good tenure there. He's really not been very, very good. I think he's only won 6 games in 4 years in the SEC. Yeah, and so it's like Hugh Freeze is gone, and there's no telling where he's going to end up. But another big brand job opening available. So it's like, again, it's going to continue to be a big time coaching search in the off season. So let's dive in, man. Interesting week. Interesting week. Man, big time ranked game this weekend. Playoff implications, SEC standing implications. Oklahoma traveled to Knoxville and picked up a big road win. At night, Tennessee had a blackout. Environment was crazy. But Oklahoma went and battled and got a win, man. 33-27. Really good game. Really good game. Back and forth. Oklahoma's defensive line looked really good in this game. Tennessee, Joey Aguilar played very well in this game, but just not enough. Not enough to pick up a win at home. I was looking at the stats, kind of preparing for the pod, and I noticed that Tennessee statistically overall really outgained Oklahoma in tons of categories. Total yards. I want to say they were better on third downs. The only thing I think that they weren't better than Oklahoma in is turnovers. I think they had one more turnover than Oklahoma. So very interesting. Is multiple times this year I've seen where Tennessee has had statistically the better game, but they still come up short. So it's really, that was an elimination game in a way for Tennessee. I really don't see Tennessee really getting in the playoff at this point. I think that was kind of their last loss.
That was it for them.
It's crazy because I think Tennessee is still a very good football team. In my opinion, they're still top 15 or so team in the country. But 3 big losses, and I think the losses are to Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma. So 3 top 12 teams in the country.
AP's got to go.
It's tough losses. It sucks for Tennessee. But Oklahoma picks up a win, and really they kind of thrust themselves back into the equation after dropping, that one to Texas, 3 weeks ago, and then Mateer's kind of come back and really has kind of struggled. He's not been the same since coming back from the thumb, but they picked up a win, man. Good game, really good game, great atmosphere. It felt like a big game. It really felt big.
Yeah, it was a nice game.
I was really watching the game. I'm like, it felt like Tennessee was going to have the momentum, but Tennessee's O-line really did not play great in that game.
They came down in the last drive, didn't it?
Yeah, basically. One possession game, but Oklahoma defensively, I really like their defense. I do think that offensively they need to start being able to run the football. Take some pressure off of John Mateer. Let him kind of get back into the game that he was playing, whenever they started the season before the injury. They need to start running the ball better. That's the only downside about Oklahoma that I've seen this year. But big win for them, and they're right in the hunt, man. They may not be really in the SEC championship hunt at this point. They've got to have some teams fall above them, but they're right in the playoff hunt, man. Big win for Oklahoma. Another big one in the SEC, man. Vandy went to DK and really, I think they were the underdog, really. I mean, they were the higher ranked team, but they were the underdog going to Texas. And Texas came out and just dominated probably the 3/4 of the game.
Vandy looked terrible the first half. Terrible.
They really did. And it's weird because it's not even that Vandy was playing bad. Texas looked like the team that we all know that they are. But Arch played well, and I think that was the key, is that they played well. People kind of forget because Texas has not played very well this year. Texas has got probably the top 3 best roster in the sport right now. Mm-hmm. They just haven't had good quarterback play. Arch has just not played well. Their offense has struggled, but they did not struggle in this game. Arch, for the second week in a row, went out and played a hell of a game. Texas really dominated the first 3/4 of the game, and Vandy came back and they scored 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter. I think it was, 34, what did we say? 34.
20, or it was a 24-point difference.
Yeah.
34-10 or something.
34-10, man. It was like, I turned the game off. I went and started watching another game because I felt like this game was over. And then they started coming back, and Vandy made it a game. But Texas, man, Texas is kind of re-emerged. And if they are still trending the way that they are, Texas is going to be a team to be reckoned with. If Arch has kind of turned the corner and starting to play well, because that's the only thing that they need to really be a legit contender is for Arch to play well.
Yep.
And I will say this, Texas is probably not going to go to the SEC championship.
They will not.
But I will say this, whoever has to play them, if they win out, let's just say if they win out, or they even go and
They go into the Pop-Tart Bowl.
let's just say they win out and then lose to A&M, they probably still get in the playoff. Whoever they got to play in the playoff.
I don't think they get in.
You don't think they get in?
No, I think Vandy, this says a lot about Vandy. For them coming back and making it a close game, it might have saved their season. If they would have went to Texas and gotten blown out, I think they would have dropped a whole bunch.
I mean, yeah. But I just feel like if Texas right now, if Texas goes and they win the rest of their games, go play A&M, they play at home, by the way. They go play A&M, they lose close. A&M's number 3 in the country. They go and play A&M and lose close.
I mean,
I think they get in.
if they weren't in the AC or the SEC, yes. But the SEC is so deep with competition.
Because they don't need to go to the conference championship. They just got to get a top 12 spot.
What about in the SEC? If you got 4 SEC teams top 15.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think, going by what I see right now, I think 6 SEC teams get in.
That's crazy.
I think around 6 get in. And I think if Texas goes, if they go and win out and beat A&M, 100% they get in. If they go and they win out and lose to A&M close, I still think they get in. But it also, in my opinion, it depends if Texas or if Arch plays well the remainder of the year. They're going to be looked at as a really, really good team that's trending up. Yeah. I think them trending upwards, even though you lose to a rival and a really, really good football team, you lose close, very, very competitive. I don't see how they don't get in. I really don't.
Do they have 2 losses or 3?
I want to say they have 2.
They lost to
Ohio State early, and then they lost
Georgia?
to...
No, not Georgia. They played Georgia.
They played Georgia. So if they beat Georgia...
Oh, and A&M.
And then lose to A&M close, I think they get in. A win over Georgia, 100%, is going to, on your resume, is a big-time win. Mm-hmm. Even though they have 3 losses, I think if you look at the losses, other than the Florida loss, which, like, anybody that knows ball, if you see Florida play, Florida is an elite-level roster. So I don't think, it's not like they lost to South Florida. They lost to Florida. So I do think that is a big difference.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Texas looked the way exactly I thought they were going to look against Vandy. I thought they were going to beat Vandy clear cut. I wasn't surprised about the blowout in the first 3 quarters of the game. Texas looks good. They look like a damn good football team. Arch is playing well. He has to continue to play well, though. He's going to be what determines how far this team goes, because we see how they've played when he's played bad. They've struggled. They've lost. As long as he's playing well, I think it's going to be an upward trend for Texas, for sure. Big time win for Texas. I do think Vandy's got to win out to even try to get in the playoff.
They only got 1 loss, isn't this their first loss? No.
This is their second loss, which I feel like the quality losses, you lose to Alabama, you lose to Texas.
Okay, yeah, they did lose to Alabama.
But I do think you're still Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
The name Vanderbilt doesn't carry the cachet of, even though you lose to good teams, you're still very, very good. They're a team that they have to go out and prove and beat teams. And I don't think that they're beating the best teams that they play. So I do think they have to win out to even be considered. Wouldn't be surprised if they're like one of the first couple teams out of the playoff. But they're going to have to win out. But Texas looked good, man. They looked really, really good in this game. They're just going to have to keep it up. They've got to keep it up to really stay in contention for the playoff.
To me, this felt like a primetime game. I don't know what about it. It felt like they were under the lights the whole time I was watching.
Oh, for sure.
That's Georgia every game this year, though. They feel like it looks like they're playing under the lights. It's a primetime game. It looks like it's game of the week every week.
I mean, Georgia, Florida always is one of the top games in the country. Even like when it's not like this year, like when you have a team that's struggling versus a really good team, or even if both teams are struggling. It's always a premier game. Big brands, really good teams, future NFL players. Like, you're going to have, the lights are going to be on for this game. 24-20, Georgia really, I don't want to say squeaked one out, but I feel like I felt that Georgia should have won by more than they did.
I mean, they were behind the whole game.
They weren't very, very much. It was very, very close. Neither team really felt like they had control of the game. You could tell it was going to be a fourth quarter game. It was going to come down to how each team finished. Really, to my opinion, the game went as expected. I expected it to be low scoring. I expected it to be close. I did expect Georgia to kind of pull away at the end, which did not happen. But gritty win. Gritty win as always. Georgia keeps picking up these gritty, hard wins. Gunner didn't he didn't play phenomenal, but he didn't play bad. I feel like through trends of the game, he was hot and cold at times. First half, I felt like he played all right, and then I feel like Florida's defense kind of turned it on in the second half, and he was struggling, and then he kind of got things back together in the fourth quarter, and really he was part of what really allowed Georgia to finish that game and get a win. But I will say, just like you were saying earlier, the officiating in the last couple of weeks has been terrible.
I think Georgia started off like they did against Auburn or Ole Miss with their play calling, and then after the first couple of drives, they went back to the same old.
And I think Florida was up 14-0. I think in this game originally.
No.
Was it not 14-0? I think they were. Because they were, or it was 10-0. It was something like, because Georgia hadn't scored yet. And Florida took like a 10-point lead, I think.
I think it was 3-7. I think Georgia went down and kicked the field goal or scored first drive.
Wait, yeah. You're right. They did kick a field goal first drive. They did kick a field goal first drive.
And they were moving the ball good, but the play calling just went back to the usual.
Yeah. Fourth quarter, really, I think, I don't want to say it affected the outcome of the game, because you don't know what would have happened afterwards. But I do think Florida really got hosed, in my opinion, in the fourth quarter. That no catch call.
I said no catch.
I thought it was a catch. I think it was very, very, because something, and then I was thinking about this whenever they called it, I'm like, common sense has left football when it comes to officiating.
When I saw it live, it looked like it bounced 5 yards in front of him, and then he caught it. But then the replay, there was one replay where I thought that might have bounced off that forearm. But
like it did. Like when he caught it, he was like this. But the ball wasn't turned this way. The ball was turned this way when it hit him. So it hit right off his forearms.
I don't think the ball would bounce up like that if it didn't hit the ground.
Yeah.
You saw turf come up. I don't know.
So they showed the replay, and I've seen on like Twitter and such, people looking at the grass. People are circling and looking at grass that was already jumping before the ball even touched it. I think it was a catch. I think 100% it was a catch. And I'm looking at, like, if you look at the position of his arms, how wide his arms were apart. If you look at where the ball, and luckily college balls have stripes, so you can see at what point on where the ball touched him. The ball where the stripes are touched his forearms. So if you look at a football, if you look at the stripes, there's not much more apex on the football that can go underneath. Because think about how thick his forearms are. His forearms are probably almost basically as thick as mine, or maybe a little bit smaller.
Once I saw that back view where it showed the camera angle from the back and the ball coming like it was under here, like that was the most sketchy one for me. Like, and all the other ones, it made it look like it seemed like it hit the ground, whatever.
And that was the best view.
Was that back view?
And I think that was the view I'm looking at. There's no way it touched the ground.
The announcers were even like, I don't know. Refereeing, they need to fix something.
I don't know. I just look at like the common sense in officiating, the common sense in football has kind of gone out the window because.
And how do you make that play call as a referee on the side, like incomplete? If you saw that shit from the side, you would think catch.
There's no way to call that for sure catch or no catch. That's one of those, you just got to make a call and then you got to go straight to the replay. I mean, it's what they did, but I think they kind of hosed the call.
Well, by calling, do you think the call that the referee made impacted the outcome?
Oh, 100%.
Because we went on the field stands. So
if you think about it, if Florida gets the call, it was a 40-yard pass with about, I want to say it was like 3 or so minutes left. Florida was moving the football. Lagway was kind of hot at the time. If he catches it and it's called a catch, they're now at like the 20 or 25-yard line going in.
Oh, yeah, that was biggest play of the game.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like if the ref would have called it a catch on the field and they went and reviewed it, do you think they would have upheld the catch on the
Yeah,
field?
I think the call that they came up with out of the replay was because of the call made on the field. There wasn't enough evidence for them to see one way or the other, so they had to stand with the call. Now, it, that's a tough one, man. That's tough, and
What about the false start by Gunner?
I hate the way that's officiated.
I don't know
hate
what he did different. Was it his back move? I'm confused.
It's so he really exaggerates when he claps. He's not just clapping. He's doing like this. So when you're doing all this, the motion of the elbows out and up, and you're swooping. There's a lot more movement than just clapping.
I thought it's about your feet though. If your feet stay still.
I mean, it's your body. It's the same thing as a left tackle like shifting on like.
That's like Jalen Hurts going hut and like leaning into it. So like, what's the difference?
I remember when Kyler Murray came into the NFL. The first like 4 games of the season, they were calling a lot of false starts on him because he did that in college. That's something you see more in college than the NFL. And then you started seeing that come in the NFL, and they started really honing in on that.
But I'm confused on what was the false start. Just the
exaggeration of him just doing this.
But he does that every play.
It's usually it's more of a this than a this because all that extra body movement. As a defender, you see that.
But if you're calling motions and doing all this and doing all that, that should be the same thing.
Yes and no. That it's more because it's a snap count.
How many times have you seen like somebody like a quarterback motioning and then they get the ball snapped to him? Like,
I mean, yeah.
Like he wasn't expecting it, but they don't call no penalty on that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And that's why like I'm just not a fan of the way they call and the way that they officiate it. Because be consistent. And also, like, if you see it, if you call it, stop. Don't stop the game, but you need to, like, go up to him, go up to Kirby, go up to whoever does it, and let them know and describe to them what they're doing so they understand. Because if they're used to doing something and they've not been called on it.
What do you explain, though? You can't come up 90 degrees and then clap? Like, I'm confused what you even explain.
Just let them know that, like, we're calling you because you're exaggerating the body movement of the clap. Like, there's a difference between doing this and doing this, where you have a head bob and you're moving your upper body.
But you say hut, your motherfucking head moves. You go hut, your head moves.
I mean, yeah, but it's not an exaggerated action.
I don't think that was as exaggerated. I think for Gunner to get 2 false starts in that game or 2 offsides by just clapping.
I will say that because it's not about the clap, it's about him moving. He's moving a lot when he's not just going like this, like everyone does this. It's just a simple just clap. He's got this very exaggerated clap. It's not just a clap. It's very exaggerated. That exaggerated movement to a defensive end. When he sees that, he's gonna jump potentially because he sees extra movement things normal. Because you see, like that's like a normal snap count.
You don't watch the quarterback though. You watch the ball.
But your eyes are gonna see offensive player movement. And it's on a snap count. So if you're doing it on a snap count, you're simulating movement on potentially snapping the football.
I guess.
So it's
do you think that was a good call then?
I do think it was a good call. I think that if you're going to officiate it that way, you need to make it clear though. I think that's the deal with the officials is that they're not making it overly clear. They're just saying, oh, like this is a penalty, but like
I want to see the side-by-side where it didn't get called and he got the offsides and the one where it got called on him. I want to see. I guarantee you it's pretty much the same.
And that's kind of the way he does it. I do think it was slightly exaggerated, not intentionally.
It was a double clap. Like he had to go from here to here to here again. Like it was all boom, boom, boom. I don't know.
I think as an official, you need to make it clear to the player you're going to call the penalty on why you're calling the penalty so they understand what you're calling and why you're calling it and so they can fix it.
Do you think Gunner changed anything he did after that?
They probably did. They probably talked about it and just been like, don't be as exaggerated about what you're doing. Still do your thing, but
But what is the exaggeration? Like the back moving? Is it the arms going too high?
Just your
Is it-
overall upper body with excessive movement when all you're doing is clapping.
I don't think exactly. That's my thing. But you can go ready, high.
I mean, yeah, that's all verbal. That's not.
But you're moving while you're talking. Like,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're gonna move. Like,
and you can sit there and go like this for a snap count.
it's not about you moving. It's about the exaggeration of the movement.
Okay, what about when it's like the play clock's winding down and somebody's waiting for the ball to get snapped and you're like, hurry up, and they're like running towards them, hurry up, and they snap the ball all while he's still clapping. I mean, that rule got to go.
I mean, like that, but see, that's something that everyone does it, but that's always been a part of football. So you see how that play happens. Like there's a difference between just going from here and you just. I just don't like the way that they're not clear on what they're calling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like nothing can be clear about that. Like when there's so many different things you can do.
I'm like, if I'm going to call that, you call it, or also. If you see it, like me as a ref, if I see that, I'm not going to call it the first time. I'm going to, if it happens and where some refs may call it, I'm going to go up to him and be like, hey, you're doing all this. You're doing all this extra movement. Like, I could have called it. You need to tone down the body movement on the snap. Like, I'm giving you a warning. Like, or if they do call it, still explain to them why you called what you called. Because then that allows the player to fix what the issue is. Because as a player, if you don't realize or you don't think you're doing anything extra, you're going to keep doing what you're doing and you're not going to change it. So
it's done it all season. So
I think they could do better, like from an official standpoint, they could do better to explain that so it doesn't continue to happen and it's clear to the player on what he's doing. Man, we saw some upsets this week, man. Couple top-ranked teams really went down. We saw NC State take down Georgia Tech, man. Another undefeated go down.
Was NC ranked?
Nah, like NC State's not very good.
I thought they were ranked at one point this season.
Nah, NC State's they've not really had a good year this year. But they took down Georgia Tech 48-36, and I've been waiting on it. I've been waiting on Georgia Tech to go down. They've had a couple scares this year. Georgia Tech is one of those teams. They're like, to me, they're not an elite team. To me, they're a fringe playoff team, and I think just a performance like this kind of shows it. It's hard to go undefeated in college football, but I do think this is something that's been brewing for a while with Georgia Tech. You've seen it, and they got bit, man. They go down. SMU went and took down Miami, and this was a game that I was kind of worried about to a degree. I thought Miami would win the game. But SMU, they came out and looked good.
They looked good the whole game.
Miami, like, it felt like Miami was going to win the game. And then SMU just wouldn't go away. And then it was tied, and SMU came back late and won and tied it up. And then they go into overtime, and then here comes Carson Beck with another turnover.
They were rolling down the field. I think it was a first down turnover. In the red zone.
It's like crazy, dude. Like another turnover by Carson Beck, man. Like he started off the season so good, and then the last month has been terrible.
Like this.
It just like they've slowly kind of crumbled, man. Miami looked really, really good. They look like one of the best teams in the country. And to be real, like they still look like one of the best teams in the country.
Like, look at who they've lost to. How can you be considered a good team if you're losing to terrible teams?
I mean, yeah, it just Carson Beck. It's all about the turnovers. It's like the Louisville game. He had three turnovers,
really
potentially
had
4.
6. Should have had 6.
It just his turnovers have led to them losing these games. And I do think the perception of Miami is not as high as it should be. I still think they're potentially top 10-ish, but I just think the turnovers is killing them.
I think Carson Beck has lost.
I don't know what's happened.
All the respect of his teammates. I think they're giving up on Beck.
I wouldn't be surprised, dude. It's like, can you trust him? Can you trust him to not turn the football over?
That's like a must. When you're in that position in overtime, you know not to throw a interception.
Yeah. Utah went and took down Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a team that has been ranked for the last couple weeks and has had a good season. But I picked Utah to win this football game. I expected this upset, but not 45-14. Massive.
What's his name? Woody?
Woody.
Goody? No, what's his name?
Willie Goodwin.
Woody Goody.
Willie
Shout out
Goodwin.
Willie.
Shout out Willie Goodwin. Go Cats, man. But I'm not surprised that since he goes down. Utah's a good football team, really good defense. But I don't know. I just haven't believed in Cincinnati this year the way that a lot of people have. And they go down.
They played good football this year, but
Yeah.
I think this one loss sends them out the door.
West Virginia. West Virginia upset Houston. Houston, I think, has lost 2 of the last 3. They've been ranked. They've played good football this year, but
They haven't played nobody.
they catch another loss, man, and they lose to really an inferior team and not a great team in West Virginia. So some teams got upset this week, and really, some more games that happened over the weekend. We saw Texas Tech. Texas Tech, they go and defeat Kansas State. And really what I expected as it was going to be a close game, and that's exactly what it was for about 3 quarters. Kansas State's a good football team. I expected this game. I had Texas Tech on potential upset alert, but they finished. They finished very, very well. 43-20. They really turned it on in the fourth quarter. They look good. I will say Texas Tech is kind of worrying me in some ways. I want to see them run the football better, and I also want to see their pass game has not been what it started out the year. I want to see them be a little bit better through the air, really, because like once they have to play BYU this week, big game this week. So I want to see their offense kind of explode the way that we kind of thought it was going to in the beginning of the year. So, but they didn't. They got a big conference win, and they're still right in the hunt for the Big 12. Ohio State.
Easiest schedule.
What?
Ohio State has the easiest schedule.
Yeah, I mean,
by far.
I mean, I don't want to say like it's not their fault. I mean, just the teams that they play just aren't as good as they probably thought before the season.
Who have they played besides Texas beginning of the year and then a broken Penn State?
Like Penn State was supposed to be like one of the best games of the year. Texas is supposed to be one of the biggest games of the year. And Michigan, I mean, they've lost 4 straight years to Michigan, so and they still have Michigan to play. But they went and got a really emphatic win against Penn State, which obviously is kind of falling back down to earth after their season's really kind of gone downhill.
I'm not impressed with Ohio State whatsoever.
I'm very impressed by what I've seen. I will say this: out of all the teams in the country that have played, they've looked the way that a great team should look with the schedule they've played.
Exactly. Well,
I was slightly worried about them offensively to start the year, but I think they've kind of turned it on. I see more explosion out of them. They have the best wide receiver core in the country, and it's kind of not close.
You don't see highlights. You don't really hear about Ohio State at all.
Oh, no. They're the best team in the country that no one talks about, and partially it's because of their schedule. They've not really had those big marquee games you would think throughout the year to really elevate them, in the media. But they're going to be right there in the mix. They're an elite level football team, and they looked like it against Penn State.
I just don't think they deserve a bye.
A bye? I mean, yeah. What do you mean a bye?
For the playoffs.
I mean,
they're going to get it, but I don't.
I mean, if you go and beat Indiana, like
they play Indiana,
they'll play them in the conference championship.
Okay, there you go. That's a game.
We'll see. Speaking of Indiana obviously another big win against Maryland. Again, another team that wins big. When it comes to a great team looking like a great team, Indiana's looked like a great team all year. They've beat everybody the way that you expect a great team to. Mm-hmm. They've not struggled. They've not shown where they have questions, and they don't look very good. They look really, really good, and they look good against Maryland. Ole Miss picked up a 30-14 win against South Carolina. I wish I would have seen a little bit more offensively, but they took care of business. Notre Dame, 25-10 over Boston College.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to see more offensively from Notre Dame against Boston College.
I didn't even hear you talk about Ole Miss, but I was about to say that was a good game in the opening, and then Ole Miss just ran with it. I don't know what happened, what quarter it happened, but it was a good game leading up until Ole Miss just took off with it.
It was. But, Notre Dame, only 15-point victory against Boston College. I do expect more, but they're continuing to roll. I want to say Notre Dame's got one more tough opponent left to play.
Michigan.
It's not Michigan.
Penn.
It's not Penn State. I forget who it is. I think it's one more tough opponent they play. But I mean Notre Dame, they look good. They look like they're going for a playoff spot. Really, they're looking at potentially getting 10 straight wins and trying to get a playoff spot. So they picked up a win this weekend. Virginia, really a team that no one's really looking at right now. Virginia got a 10-point win over Cal. I think they're only got one loss. And they look good. Virginia they look like a good football team. They can put some points up on the board. I'm interested to follow the rest of their season because I want to see what they do. There's a good chance that Virginia ends up in the ACC championship, it looks like. So interesting to see there.
Did Alabama play this week?
Alabama did not. They were on a bye this week. And then USC. USC kind of had a struggle to beat Nebraska. I seen, Nebraska was a night game. They had a blackout. The energy was high in Memorial Stadium, but USC went and got a win. They did struggle, in my opinion. I expected USC to win more emphatically against kind of an average or below average Nebraska team. And we saw Dylan Raiola. He ended up breaking his leg in that game, so he's done for the year. So another big injury for college football in Nebraska. But
I hope he comes back. Wasn't he? What is he? Second year?
Second or third.
He's supposed to be face of the franchise next couple of years, and then broken fibulus. Isn't that the hardest bone to break? That's the top one right here, right?
Is it the fibula or the tibia? I can't remember what he broke.
I think it was his lower leg. It couldn't have been his fucking
fibula. Yeah, broken fibula. So
Isn't that this bone right here?
Thigh bone. Big bones for yeah, that's a big bone to break.
Nothing else give before that gives? Like
I didn't see the injury.
It was just like a sack that he got wrapped up a bunch of people. Like I don't
compression. Know. Yeah, so win. I mean, USC gets a win. I want to continue to see how they play. Continuing on throughout the season. They're not really in playoff contention anymore, but interesting, man. We saw some teams pick up some big wins and important wins. So interesting, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes from there. Let's take a look at the AP poll here. Really, a lot of movement and a lot of interesting movement in the AP. Really, like the top seven here. The top seven. Nothing moved, which we're not expected. A handful of these teams were on a bye. And then some of these teams, had big wins. So top seven didn't really move.
How many SEC teams are top seven?
Top seven. I mean, we're looking at
1, 2, 3,
5.
4.
5 of the top 7, I think. So interesting.
Wait, Indiana's SEC?
They are not. So Big Ten, SEC, SEC, Big Ten, SEC. So
damn.
All Big Ten, all SEC. So top 7 didn't really move around much. And then we've got from 8 to 14 here. BYU, I think out of everything here, what I see, the things that stand out to me is that BYU being ranked 8. I understand that they're 8-0 and they've played good football and they've won. But really, in my opinion, this week is really going to prove how good they really are. They play Texas Tech. So 8 versus 9 matchup. It'll be in Lubbock. I think College Game Day is going to be there.
Why the Notre Dame 10?
Interesting. Yeah, that's another one. I think Notre Dame is a top 6 or 7 team in the country. By what I see, like Notre Dame is a damn good football team. And they've got 2 good losses. Their only losses are by a combined 3 points. So
Texas jumps up that much. What the?
Yeah. I like Texas where they are. I think with Arch Manning playing well, I think they're right around where they should be. My thing is I really don't care how many games you lose. I care about who you lost to, how you lost, but I'm going to grade you on by who you are today.
Oklahoma should be above Notre Dame. And BYU.
BYU for sure. I think BYU is ranked a little too high. I like Texas Tech where they are. Like the games that they have left to play is going to play out. Notre Dame, I like where they are. Oklahoma, I don't mind where they are. Virginia, I like where they are. I don't mind this 8 through 14. I do think BYU should be at the bottom here. I would have BYU probably 14. That's I would move everybody up a spot and move BYU to 14 or 13. But I mean, I mean, so one great thing is we don't have to deal with the AP after this week. Tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, we get the first playoff rankings. So this goes out of the window. Wouldn't be surprised if it looks about the same, but again, I do think that with BYU being ranked high, a little overrated, I think. I would say that the games they have left to play is going to play out. But interesting nonetheless, 8 through 14. And then we got 15 through 21.
Yeah, it's all this. Miami being that low, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, really, I don't mind these teams here. I will say Miami's a little low in my opinion.
Michigan should not be on here at all.
I don't mind Michigan at 21. They're still a really good football team.
Oh man.
I think if you look at the teams below them, I think they beat
Tennessee.
I think they beat most of these teams here. I do think that Tennessee probably beats them. But I don't mind Michigan at 21. I do think, in my opinion, I would have dropped Missouri out of the top 25, in my opinion. I think with their Bo Prabula, their quarterback, breaking his leg or breaking his ankle last week, I think I would move them out of the rankings just because if you don't have your quarterback, you're not going to be as good. But I don't mind. I don't mind where these teams are. Most of these teams were higher ranked and they fell. I think they're ranked properly about where they should be. So,
which one of these teams do you see going to the college playoff bracket?
Wait, are you saying which one do I see going to the playoff?
Like that's going to be on the college playoff bracket or
none of these.
Miami?
I think it's going to be similar to what we see here.
You don't think Miami sneaks back in?
No, not right now. Not in this ranking.
I'm just talking the rest of the year.
I mean, rest of the year. I mean, out of 15 through 21. I mean,
Miami might go.
Vandy's going to be up in there for sure because they're.
I think they lose their next game. All the rest out. I mean, it depends who they play, but not having a starting quarterback. Psh.
I think Vandy probably wins out. Georgia Tech probably wins out until they go to Georgia. They play Georgia. There's no telling about Utah. They're kind of a hot and cold team. Miami, if Carson Beck plays well, they're going to win out. If they don't play, if Carson Beck doesn't play, up to par, then they could drop another one. I think Missouri's kind of done just because their quarterback's out. SC, I feel like they should win out, but I mean, we'll see. And Michigan, I'm not sure about their schedule. I think they lose to Ohio State, but I think they should probably win out the rest of the season. So, let's see here, and then 22 to 25.
Yeah.
Memphis has got a big game this week. Memphis plays Tulane. Tulane's a good football team. Memphis is 8-1. They're looking at being one of those teams contending for that last playoff spot for Group of 5. I hate that Tennessee's 23. I think Tennessee's a top 15 team in the country. I think Washington should be ranked higher. I think they've been underranked all year. And Cincinnati being 25, I mean, they're all right. At all the teams that's not there, I would probably have Illinois 25. I do think Illinois is a good football team. But it is what it is. Last time we're going to look at this AP poll because we do have
nasty ass AP poll.
I know, right? But
77 is voted for Cincinnati. That's crazy.
I'm glad to see that we got a playoff ranking coming tomorrow. So next week we'll take a dive in at the new playoff rankings.
That wasn't a false start either.
Interesting week 11, man. I feel like we got some games that's going to tell us a lot about a lot of teams here. Really, the game of the week, obviously, College Game Day is going to be there. They're going to be in Lubbock, Texas. Number 8 against number 9, BYU and Texas Tech. Major game. Major game for the Big 12. Major playoff implications game. I think this is a potential. I mean, a potential eliminator game for Texas Tech, for both teams, but especially Texas Tech because they do already have a loss. Now, big game. Just this is gonna really determine, the Big 12. I think Texas Tech needs this win more than BYU does because BYU. I can't remember. Are they one of the unbeaten teams? Yes, they
Yeah.
are one of the unbeatens. So I do think that they are hurt a little bit less because they'll have the one loss in conference, which they'll still be tied with Texas Tech in losses if they lose this game.
This is going to be a rematch end of the year.
Maybe. Very, very much. These two teams could potentially meet again in the Big 12 title game. I think Texas Tech wins this game, but this is going to be a dogfight. BYU's a good football team. They're not the greatest team. On paper, Texas Tech is a far better team than BYU, but BYU plays good football. So I could easily see, I could see BYU winning this football game. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Texas Tech pulls it out. But very, very interesting game. Excited for this game. An interesting game just from an optic standpoint. Oregon goes on the road to Iowa. And as we all know, playing in Iowa is one of the hardest places to play in the country. This is going to tell me a lot about Oregon because, in my opinion, Oregon has struggled offensively all year. They've not really had many games this year where they play quality opponents and their offense looks good.
Yeah, them and Ohio State's been flying under the radar.
They have. I mean, and Oregon going to Iowa. Iowa's got a good defense. They play good defense as always. Tough place to play. Like they say, this is where great teams go to die. We're gonna see what Oregon's offense is made of. We're gonna see what Oregon as a whole is made of. Playing a tough Iowa team, and Iowa can sneakily put some points on the board. So interesting to see how Oregon plays in this game. They should win this game, but I would not be surprised if this was a close game. LSU. LSU goes to the number 4 ranked team in the country, Alabama. Big brand game. Obviously, coming into the year, this was expected to be one of the top games in the country. Ranking wise and national relevance wise, not the biggest game anymore.
They're both coming off of buys too, ain't they?
Yes, they are both coming off of buys.
And, Brian Kelly's gone.
Brian Kelly is gone from LSU, so we'll see how that team will rally playing against Alabama. So I'm very interested in how this game goes because this is going to be a fourth quarter game in my opinion. Big game, great players all over the field. So, I mean, there's going to be NFL scouts all over the place for this game. LSU isn't a great team, but they're a great football team. They've not played the greatest on offense, but, defensively, LSU's a really good football team. Excited to see this one. I think Alabama pulls this one out, but this is going to be a fourth quarter game for sure.
I'd like to see a spread on this one.
I really don't know the spread. I haven't looked at the spreads on this. Oh no, let me take a look.
It's got to be at least 10 plus. 10.5.
Really, that is actually a surprise. Really, there's a lot of money going to go to LSU for sure in this. Would not be surprised. That's a big spread in my opinion. That's big. I would expect this to be a little bit closer, maybe like 8, 7.5 or 8. 10.5 is a big spread. Interesting, very, very interesting. But gonna be a big game, big game. Excited for this one. We got Navy. Navy goes to Notre Dame. Navy's a sneaky team, man.
They're coming off a loss, ain't they?
I think they're 7-1. I think.
Didn't they just lose to Army?
No, they play Army at the end of the year.
No, they was just Navy Army.
I think it was.
Who did Army just play?
It was Navy Air Force. I think they played Air Force.
Okay, that's what it is.
Navy's a sneaky good football team this year, man. They're playing good. They're playing good ball. 7-1. Obviously, Navy Service Academy, tough games. Obviously, when you play a Service Academy, Notre Dame needs to take care of business in this one. They're still trying to make that playoff push. They're ranked number 10. They're right back in the mix. So this is a game that you don't want to slip up and lose to a Service Academy. Playing against that option is not easy, man. So Notre Dame, very, very interesting game for them. We had some technical difficulties.
Was this in the frame?
Hell no, the Corona wasn't in the frame.
Is it in it now?
Hell yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. We had some technical difficulties here. Phone died. We were looking at week 11, and really the only thing really left to talk about Tulane going to Memphis, man. Number 22 Memphis hosting Tulane. One of the bigger games in the group of 5 for the year. It's really going to kind of determine the group of 5, team that gets to the playoffs. So really a big game for those two teams because either one of those teams, that comes out with a win are probably going to be ranked if it's Tulane, and Memphis is going to climb those rankings. So big game for them because that could launch them into their conference championship and get them in the playoffs. So big game for Memphis and Tulane, man. Good week 11. Good week 11.
It's decent. It's not. I wouldn't.
I mean, it's not the best week, but I do think that there are meaningful games.
Yeah, the way football is being played right now, there's a lot of good football going on.
For sure, man. This is going to be one of those weeks because we're coming down towards the end. We got 5 weeks left. So and now we got the playoff rankings. So these are all crucial games because this is really going to be what comes down to what really sets the table for the playoff rankings. So big games, important games, and crucial games for contention, for standings, and for the playoffs. So looking forward to week 11. Enjoy what we just had week 10 and big week 11 coming through, and hopefully we can watch the games, man. So let's get out of here. Good to get on here. Speaking some heat, man.
I like that. Speaking some heat. That rolled off in time next.